What's up, fam? This is your boy El Jefe, and I am here to give you an early look at the FIIL T1XS. So this is the extra small version of the FIIL T1X, so let's kind of get into it and see what they're all about. Now, unfortunately, these are not available for sale as of the making of this video, but as soon as the time comes, I will be updating the links right down there below in the description box, so make sure you check those out if you are interested. Now, before we go any further, and for full disclosure, because I like having transparency and honesty with my viewers, I went ahead and bought these earbuds myself with my own money for the purposes of this review. And if this is your first time here, you're not familiar with the way that I do things on this channel, whether I go out and buy the product myself or if a company sends it over to me for a review, I'm always going to keep it 100% real with you and let you know whether or not it's worth your hard-earned money. No money was exchanged between me and the company to make this video, so they're going to be watching this video at the same time that you are. So if you like what you heard so far, sit back and relax, hit that subscribe button one time, and let's jump into this. Now, the way I like to do my videos, I like to talk about the cons first before I get into the pros. So let's start there. Now, like I said, this is an early look. For whatever reason, I did manage to get these pretty early. Not sure what was going on with that website or why they even had them available, but this kind of doesn't seem like a completely finished product, at least not yet. Maybe it's kind of a pre-launch thing, not 100% sure. Now, the reason that I'm saying that is because they do have an app. So FIIL has an app called FIIL Plus. I actually picked it up on the Google Play Store, and you can see these earbuds on the app. You can see FIIL T1XS. Unfortunately, these earbuds will not connect to that app. They actually do not support them at this time. So many of the advanced features that are built into these earbuds, I have no access to whatsoever. So that's kind of a bummer, at least right now. This is one of those things about getting things early that can sort of be problematic. So it seems like these have the potential to be very, very good once this app gets fully updated and I get control over all the other features. But at this time, unfortunately, it is just not there. Now, some of those features that I'm talking about are going to be stuff like accessing the sensitivity of the touch control or even making changes to the touch control programming itself. So I'm assuming that they might even give you the option to like change, the functions and what does what. So that'll be pretty sweet to see. The other thing that they had talked about in the spec sheet was the fact that these have a low latency and gaming mode. But unfortunately, no matter what I do, I cannot figure out how to activate that mode. So I'm assuming that that's going to be part of the app. Once it does get updated, there'll be some sort of a toggle or some sort of a switch, something. Or even it'll give you the ability to program it into like a long press or something. I don't know. But as of this time, I still have not figured out how to access that. Now, like I said, these do feature full touch control. The main gripe that I'm having with mine right now is the fact that I don't have access to all of the controls. So it's almost like they're stuck in some sort of an easy mode, because the only thing I can do with these right now is play pause, answer and hang up phone calls, and then activate the ambient aware sound. But that's it. I can't skip tracks, I can't raise or lower the volume. So for whatever reason, I have no access to those functions of these earbuds at this time. And this leads me back to what I'm saying about them being an early launch item and the fact that there's no app support yet. I'm assuming that once they update the app and the FIIL T1XS goes live on the app, I'll have access to all of these things. But as of the making of this video, I have very limited access to any of this stuff. Then last but not least, this is a full-on Chinese version of these earbuds. So all of the voice prompts are in what I believe to be Mandarin, and I don't speak Mandarin, so I have no idea what is going on. And then the instruction manual is also 100% in Chinese, so I cannot figure out exactly how to do any of the stuff that needs doing on these earbuds. The only reason I was even able to figure anything out at all is because of my trusty Google Pixel 4 XL. They have the Translate app, and it has a camera function where you can hover this over the instructions and it sort of like live translates for you on the screen. So that gave me an idea of what the controls are supposed to be. But unfortunately, it's simply, they're just not working at this time. So those are my gripes with these earbuds so far. Hopefully these are all things that will be addressed once these earbuds go live in the app, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now let's get into the other features and the things that I do like. So first, let's talk about that connection quality. So these are featuring Bluetooth 5.0, so there's no issues as far as connection quality is concerned. As far as range goes, I tested these out to right around 35 feet, so that's right around 10.5 meters for my friends overseas. So overall, pretty good, and the connection is very, very strong. So it went through a couple of walls, like I could go outside, walk downstairs, go out my driveway, and I didn't have any connection lag or any sort of clipping or anything. So the connection, very solid. As far as the Bluetooth codec is concerned, these are running SBC and AAC respectively. So they're giving you some pretty decent quality. When I have them connected to my iPhone or even to any of my Android devices, they automatically default to AAC, so the HD audio is activated, and I'm getting some pretty decent quality sound. As far as latency is concerned, when watching video, little to none, barely noticeable if at all. So overall, very, very good. Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon Prime Video, no issues with that stuff whatsoever. Now, where you do experience a bit of latency is with gaming, especially first-person shooters. So like PUBG, Call of Duty, Fortnite, things of that nature, you're still going to experience some sort of gaming latency. Now, this is where that gaming and low latency mode would come in handy, but being that I have no access to it at this time, I cannot test it. So in the meantime, I wouldn't be able to recommend these for any sort of mobile gaming. But if you're just playing casual gaming, like, Asphalt 9 and other kinds of just casual mobile games, not going to be a problem. And then as far as pairing is concerned, pairing happens very, very quickly, similar to what you got with the FIIL T1X. So once you get through the initial pairing process, it is an auto on and auto pair type of setup. So as soon as you open the lid, they're already going to be pairing to your device. By the time you get them into your ears, it's going to be good to go. And then last but not least, they also feature dual connect. So if you want to listen to one of these earbuds while the other one is charging or vice versa, you can totally do that. And you can hot swap them as you're using them. Now, the only thing that happens to them when you do this is they do pause the music, so you have to push play. But I think that has more to do with the in-ear detection than anything else. And then that brings me over to the in-ear detection. So these do feature auto pause and play with in-ear detection. So basically, when you put them in your ears, they start playing the music. When you take them out, they automatically pause. So for a lot of people, they think that's a cool feature. I think it's a cool feature to have, but I like having the ability to toggle that feature on and off. Hopefully, that'll be a toggle that appears in the app whenever that goes live. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see. But they do have this feature. It is built into these, so it does work very well. Next up, let's get into the case and the battery. So the case itself is very slim, very pocketable, and substantially smaller than the case that you got with the FIIL T1X. Now, they still feature USB Type-C for charging, and neither of them have Qi wireless charging on board, but I'm totally okay with that. As far as the battery built into the case, they're giving you an additional 24 hours worth of playback time, so overall, very good for a case this small. As far as playback time is concerned with the earbuds themselves, they claim 6 hours worth of playback time. In my personal testing, I managed to get 6 hours and 4 minutes at 75% volume. So we hit those claims almost right on the head. So very, very good in my personal opinion. Now, my testing was done with just pure music playback. So user experience will vary depending on how you're using them, whether it's your volume level or if you're making a lot of phone calls or how much you're using the ambient mode. So like I said, user experience will vary with that battery, but I don't see you getting, much less than 5 hours with these earbuds, to be completely honest. And then if you actually do manage to run these earbuds all the way down, you can throw them in the case for 5 minutes and they will give you an additional 1 hour worth of playback time. So they do have the fast charge earbud feature on board. And then next up, let's move over to the call quality and the mics. Now, they are featuring dual ENC microphones on these earbuds, and ENC is environmental noise cancellation. So that's sort of going to tune out some of the background noise when you're making phone calls. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and put them to the test. I'm going to play you some call quality samples. So the first one's just going to be me in a quiet indoor environment, and then I'm going to play some crowd noise, and that way you can have an idea of how well this environmental noise cancellation works. Let's get into it.
All right, so here we have the call quality test for the FIIL T1XS. So obviously we're indoors and we're in a pretty quiet environment. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is kind of what you're going to expect for phone call quality out of the FIIL T1XS. All right, so here we have the call quality for the FIIL T1XS in an indoor, crowded, noisy environment. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Let's see how well these environmental noise cancellation mics are working. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section.
So now that we're still on the topic of these microphones, let's talk about that ambient sound. So the ambient sound feature, if you're not familiar with it, this is a feature where you can activate the microphones on your earbuds or headphones in order to hear your surroundings. And that way you can sort of maintain environmental awareness if you're out and about walking around and you just kind of don't want to be totally sealed off from the world. It gives you that ability to hear what's going on around you. And it works pretty well. The microphones are pretty sensitive, so you can hear a lot of the things that are going on around you. Now, my main gripe with this ambient mode is that things sound heavily processed. Now, this is something that could be adjusted and tuned via a firmware update, but right now things sound a little robotic, a little tinny, quite heavily processed, so it isn't the best implementation of ambient sound out there. But I'm just nitpicking. The fact that this was even included on an earbud that comes in for under 100 bucks is a great thing to see. This is something that I hope to see further from other manufacturers out there. Even if we don't get active noise cancellation, I definitely want to see more ambient sound on more earbuds going into the latter half of 2020. Now, let's get into the volume and the sound quality. So let's start with the volume. As far as volume is concerned, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna have to give these a 7 out of 10, which is very, very good. So these aren't the loudest that I've ever heard, but still very, very loud. Now, these are about 1 or 2 volume ticks under the FIIL T1X. So these are definitely the baby brother of those earbuds. So for me personally, more than loud enough. I don't see myself ever using these above 85 or 90%. The only time I'll go above that is if I'm watching a video that has like quiet dialogue. You have a little bit of overhead so you can kind of hear what's going on. But for just casual music listening and things of that nature, 65, 75%, maybe 80% at the most of the time. So overall volume, very good. And then as far as the sound quality is concerned, like I said, these are the baby brother to the FIIL T1X, and the sound tuning is very, very similar. It is just not quite as refined as the FIIL T1X. So the FIIL T1X, they give you, some nice kick in the bass, very smooth in the mid-range, and some very nice clarity in the treble. These are giving you the same thing, but just a little bit subdued. So the bass isn't quite as strong. The mid-range isn't quite as smooth. There seems to be a little bit of bleed of the bass going into the mids, but the clarity overall is still fairly good. So I am impressed overall with the sound quality of these earbuds. Now, as far as music and genres and the different things that I used in order to test these, I was actually using a bit of rock music, a bit of hip hop, and a bit of classical to kind of get a good idea of what was going on with the sound quality. And overall, like I said, highly impressed. Despite them not having quite the level of volume or refinement of their bigger brother, the FIIL T1X, these are still incredibly impressive for an earbud that comes in for under 100 bucks. So as far as a hierarchy between the two of them, it's definitely going to be the FIIL T1X for pure sound quality, but for overall feature set, at least hopefully whenever they unlock it, the T1XS is going to be an excellent choice. Now, would I go ahead and recommend for you to go out and order these or pick these up as soon as possible? No, but let me explain. I am going to go ahead and say proceed with caution. Be patient. I'm going to be doing an updated video once they actually release these in the app. So once I'm able to do an update, once I'm able to gain control over the touch control, over the gaming mode, over all those functions, I'll go ahead and make an updated video to let you know what the experience is like once you actually have access to the earbuds. At this time, I can't recommend them because they're just not completely there. If this is how they end up staying, where I have no access to the gaming mode, where I have no access to volume control or track control, then that's really a tough sell for me. That would be irresponsible for me to go ahead and say, yeah, you should order these. Nah. What I'm telling you is just to proceed with caution. If you need to get a set of FIILs right now, go ahead and pick up the $50 FIIL T1X. Those things are absolutely awesome. They are still my #1 choice. Even 3 months later after I made that video, they are still the #1 choice under 50 bucks, despite the other earbuds that have come out since then. So go ahead and buy those with confidence. They are great. The only thing you're giving up is there is no gaming mode and there is no ambient sound. But considering the sound quality and the battery life that you're getting out of those bad boys, they're 100% worth it. In the meantime, if you're patient and if you're willing to wait, please go ahead and do so, because I think these have some awesome potential if they actually live up to the hype. Hopefully FIIL is watching this video and they're listening. I really cannot wait for you guys to go ahead and update this app and unlock all these features. Please, let's go ahead and do that as soon as possible. That way I can make this updated video and then we can sort of make things happen. But until then, please proceed with caution. Wait until I get a full look at these earbuds before you make that purchasing decision. Let me give you as much information as possible before you spend your hard-earned money. So with that said, let me take a quick sec to say thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for giving me a chance to tell you about the FIIL T1XS. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that stuff, leave those down in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to connect with me or the JEFE fam and community further, make sure you check out the link for our Discord server in the description box down below. Go ahead and join us. All you got to do is agree to the rules, hit that little green check box, and you're good to go. Now, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and smash that like button, go ahead and smash that subscribe button along with that small bell, and this way you never miss any of my upcoming videos. With all of that said, I hope you have an awesome week. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.